Hello. Happy Thursday. Happy final day of Hanukkah. It's so nice to be together this evening. And just wanted to finish our Hanukkah with the brightest of lights. Thought we'd do something a little bit different today than we've been doing. Try it out, see how it works. It's always nice to kind of change things up a tiny bit. So in the last section, in the last 8 or 9 minutes or so, we're going to start with images of light inside of our bodies and trying to pull the light that's inside of us out. And so we'll work on that a little bit and then head into our final section of asking for a feeling of joy and wholeness. But I thought that we could just, we've been talking a little bit about light, the lights inside of us, bringing light into the world, and shedding light on darkness. It is definitely a theme for this week, obviously. It is the Festival of Lights. So I thought that today we could consider our own light and where we shine that light and in what ways we shine the light. And if you're thinking about this and you're like, wow, I really don't feel like I shine any light into the world, that is something that is worth noticing. And also to figure out, where could I bring my light into the world? And in what way can I shine that towards others? One of the more fascinating notes about Hanukkah is the idea of those lights. And you may not know this, but there's a whole discussion about how the Hanukkah lights can be used. On Shabbat, we have those 2 Shabbat candles. You can use those candles to light the room. You can use those candles to read something. You can use those candles to find your way up the stairs. You can actually use them as usable lights that are spread on Shabbat. Incidentally, you can also blow those candles out, and you can use the candles again the following week. And you don't have to keep them lit for the entire Shabbat. Now, there's a lot of people who believe that you are supposed to never blow out those candles or put them out, but I'm here to tell you that you actually can do that. There is no prohibition against it. As a matter of fact, if letting the candle go till the bottom prohibits you from doing it the following week because you can't afford it, lighting of the candles is more important than having it light all the way down to the end of the candle. So to do the mitzvah of lighting the candles takes precedence. So if you can't afford and you don't have other candles, then by all means, blow those candles out or put them out when you're done with your dinner and you're done with your evening. But the Hanukkah candles are different. You're not allowed to use the Hanukkah candles for anything other than advertising the miracle of Hanukkah. In other words, if you're sitting in a chair and the Hanukkah lights are in front of you, you can't count your coins by the light of the Hanukkah menorah. That's the exact example given in the Talmud. And it's very curious, right? Because, I know that when I go to light the candles, I put the lights out, I make it so that the glow of those lights fills up the room. So what the rabbis would say is, you're not really using the light of all of the candles. You're only using the light of the shamash, and that is allowed. To use the light of the shamash candle, the working candle that lights all of the other candles. And when we light them tonight, it's going to really brighten up the room. Because on Hanukkah, we begin with 1 candle and move to 8. Because when we think of the joys in our lives and who we are and what we do, we want that joy to increase day by day. And through the holiday, we want our joy to increase. So tonight, when we see all those incredible lights, is going to be the nicest of all of the evenings because it's so filled with light. And there was a machloket, a Talmudic disagreement between the school, actually a Mishnaic disagreement, between the schools of Shammai and the schools of Hillel. The school of Shammai said, the fact is, on the first night, there was going to be 8 nights. that it was going to last. Then on the next night, it was only going to last for another 7 days. The next night, another 6 days. And so Shammai thought that we should start with 8 and take one away each night. As a matter of fact, when we are all together and we have, all of our Chanukiot going, I always try to have one Shammai Chanukiah. So tonight would only be one light for that. And like if you think about it, right, you're building the holiday, you're going through the holiday, and there's one night on the last night. It doesn't really fit the feeling that we want. And that's why the way Hillel described it is the way that was accepted. And each night we add lights. So if we began last Thursday, where we did have our meditation and began talking about the light inside of us, now that light is really, really kind of on the tips of our tongues. It's on our fingers. It's right on our nerve ends. We've gone through the 8 days. The light has been growing. And so perhaps today is an important day to think about, where do you shine your light? Where do you leave that light? On whom do you shine the light? Do you? Do you even think about a light that might be inside of you? There's that phrase, to light up someone's face. Do you ever feel as if you've lit someone's face, or that your face has been lit? But really, in the end, to ask ourselves, do I put out light into the world? Because if we're not, we're just accepting darkness, maybe. How do I put my light out? Where does the light come from? Does it come from my head? Does it come from my heart? Does it come from my belly? And what does that light feel like? Is shining light on others when you help others? Is it when you give your time to others? Maybe it's just sharing our existence with others, is bringing our light to other people, which doesn't seem so difficult, right? I mean, we're around people. Not so much nowadays, but we're on Zoom calls with them, we're talking to them on the phone. We might meet them in our backyard, distanced, socially distanced. Although that is less and less now, since it's this virus has gone so crazy. But it's especially difficult now to spread our light into the world. So that's something I would like us to consider and help us do that. At the end of our time, we're going to concentrate on the light inside of us. And I'll try to create some images for you that you'll be able to attach yourself to that which is inside of you. Every person has light. Every one of us. Sometimes that light is stamped out due to experiences, and due to difficulties, due to catastrophes. Sometimes the light is just deadened a little bit, waiting for us to pick it back up. But that light is always there. It is always inside of us. It's always a part of us because it is the light of life that exists in all things. And we can choose to live without it. We can choose to live in darkness. We can choose to live in something that's between the light and the dark. It doesn't necessarily mean, by the way, darkness that it's evil or bad. It's just non-light. It's just the non-existence of light. And if we can bring the light inside of us to others, then we're spreading it as opposed to just kind of keeping it down. So let's think about some of these ideas as our mind begins to wander and we're concentrating on our breath. Perhaps it would lead you to some place that allows you to see your light. But whatever it is, we're gonna concentrate on our breath to start, and then towards the end, I'll try to give us about 5 minutes before we ask for those feelings, just to kind of grab the light that's inside of us and bring it out. So, I had my usual yawn before we begin, so I think that we're ready. If you can get yourself in a comfortable position. And we will begin together. Here we go. Remember, we're just breathing normally. We're not trying to fix our breath or to make our breath. Just nice and easy breathe. And just notice how your stomach feels with the air coming in and out. You can shut that off if you want. Heat. There we go. And we're just trying to allow things to be as they are inside of our bodies. Just trying to exist in the present. So many times we think about what's been today or yesterday, or what will be tomorrow or the next day or even tonight. But for now, we just want to exist in this space, just in the present moment. And as your mind takes you away, and it will, you just want to bring yourself back to your breath for now. Just allow everything to be as it is. So as we lead up to the moments where we ask for feelings, thought that we could try to search for our light today. And it's very simply, as you're sitting here, try to imagine in the center, inside your chest, of a soft light, a glowing light that sits just inside of your body. What size is that light? It's just glowing. It's not particularly bright or not particularly dim. And as this light exists in the center of our body, I invite you to brighten that light a little bit. Let the light get a little bit brighter inside of you so that it illuminates more than just the area where it is, but continues to illuminate beyond that area, shedding light on our organs inside of our bodies. And let that light grow and fill your body. Let's take a moment to let that light fill up our bodies. You may feel lighter. You may feel weighed down by the light. But we want it to be in every part of our bodies. Imagine the light inside your toes and in your legs and your hands and your fingers and your arms. Of course, your chest and the stomach. And it fills our heads and our mouths. And as the light grows inside of us, what would it mean for the light to break out and to take that light and fill the room with your light? Fill the space where you are so that the light permeates every spot of the place you find yourself situated right now. And let's sit for a moment and bask in the light that you've shined into the room. So now the light is in the space where we are, and I want you to just imagine that you're looking up to the sky and the light slowly and quietly and calmly starts to push itself out of your body into the world, brightening even the night sky. And this light is just hovering just above your head. You can see it. You could even grasp it if there was something physical to grasp, but there isn't. You can play with the light in your fingers if you'd like. How does it interact with your fingers and your hands? And as the light continues to grow, we feel the light coming from us out into the world. Is it warm? Is it cold? Does it fill you up as well? How does that light permeate to the other rooms where you are? How does it enter into the people that you love? Let that light start to move It moves towards those you care about. It moves to you. It moves to protect the place where you are. It moves to bring blessing. And it searches and seeks beauty, honesty, love, kindness. All of those aspects of humanity we need. And as that light hovers and fills, we ask, may I feel joy. May I feel wholeness. That combination of the light with the dark is wholeness. The positive and the negative, the easy and the hard, the beautiful and the ugly. They are all the same thing, filled with the light and energy of life. So we consider this. We create the light. May I feel whole. May I feel joy as we prepare for Shabbat, as we prepare to light our final Hanukkah candles. May I feel joy. May I feel whole. What does that wholeness look like? What does it feel like to have joy? May I feel joy. May I feel whole. May I feel joy. May I feel whole. And on each breath, ask yourself for those feelings. We don't have that much time, so if you'd like to invite someone to be with you, you may. Or you can continue to ask for yourself, may I feel whole? May I feel joy? And does that light that came from you, is that still with you and hovering with you, enabling you to feel the joy, feel the wholeness that comes from bringing the light outside of us into the world? How joyous that is. When you feel like you're ready, I invite you to go back into your breath for our last several breaths together. Thank you so much for being here this evening on our final night of Hanukkah. I hope that you were able to find stillness and peace. And I hope the light was able to come out of you into the world. May you feel joy, and may you feel wholeness. Have a wonderful evening. Have a fantastic Shabbat, and we'll see you on Monday.